militia.
I wish the girl would put his hands on me.
We want to tell people that destroying nature isn't right, and learning about it is more fun than destroying it. And
Do you think it's important for people like yourself to experience something like this?
Yeah, so they could learn better about just the environment, and to keep it good and clean. Yeah.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Yeah, so we could live.
The third reason that woodpeckers peck? Yeah, exactly. They like to make noise. Lots of birds that you hear, the ovenbird goes, teacher, 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 teacher.
Why?
But woodpeckers don't make noise except that way. They make a trrrr. And by doing that, it's sort of like what Anthony was talking about. Remember he said that animals like to make, mark out their territory and declare where their territory is?
Yep.
That's how woodpeckers make out their territory and tell other woodpeckers, hey.
there's some more. There's some more out there.
Really? We have some other cavities?
Does anybody know what a topographic map is? Ever hear of one? Okay. This is actually the property that we're on. This is the outline down 10 feet, and it shows you how far down. And you can actually see the stream channel right down through here. And that stream's right down and back. See? Now this little device that I have around my neck is called the clinometer. What you do is I'm going to pass around, everybody can take a look at it.
I'm real in there.
You look through there, and you keep both eyes open. That's the secret with this one. And there's a little line in there on the right-hand side, 10%, just to give you an idea how steep that drops off.
We need to do a lot more of this. More and more of the world is becoming increasingly urban, and they're losing touch with what happens out in the countryside and with nature and the way nature works and things. And lots of times, it's a cliche in some ways, but a lot of times we say, oh, people they think milk comes from the grocery store, or they think wood comes from the lumber yard or something, and people, adults even, not only kids, but lots of people, I think, don't understand how nature works, where nature is, and what nature is all about. So, although, this is a program of working with, groups of children from a city, still, it's one little bit, and it all adds up to trying to increase awareness of what's going on out here.
So I want you to find 2 maple leaves that have very different shapes. Number 2 on the list is I want you to find something quite old. I don't want you to tear apart a tree. I don't want you to rip apart a stone wall. But I want you to find something around, and you're going to have to look inside the whole acre. Find something that to you seems very old. Okay, there's no right or wrong. I'm not telling you it has to be 4 years old, 22 years old, but something that seems old. Number 3 on the list is something that smells good. And what smells good to me won't smell good to Francis, and what smells good to Francis might not smell good to Sandra. So that's up to your team. You figure out what smells good to you and put it in the bag.
You can use it. You can try.
I remember camping and meeting special people when I was a child, and having them slow down and show me things. I remember hiking and camping and meeting park rangers for the National Forest Service for state parks. And I remember how special that was to me. So I'm just passing along a favor that was shared with me back when I was a child. Yeah, wood ducks, wood ducks will come. This is a good point, actually. The ash seeds. We're going to walk over to the beaver pond, and it's a little ways away. Wood ducks will come all the way from that beaver pond up here and eat acorns and ash seeds. And
We'll bring some down.
wood ducks. Wood ducks. Well, we'll have to look them up in a book and show you. But they nest.
Pretty duck, actually.
They're pretty, and they nest at beaver ponds and wetlands and swamps and things. But they also feed in these kinds of areas.
I think it's so important that the children get involved in conservation, at least a thorough understanding of what conservation is at a very early age. And the more removed you are from a country environment or from a rural environment, I think it's even more important. So in this case, where we're bringing children from the city out to the country, I feel a very strong initiative to try to work with those children just so they gain a basic appreciation for nature, wildlife, trees, soil, the whole works. All right, perfect. Okay, now don't shake it. That's what I'm going to do. Let's leave it just like this. Now, look at the difference. The top part of this is much darker. What there's more protection there in the soil. There's more nutrients.
More clay,
there's
more food.
Well, there's more food in there. That's right. That's what it is. This is mixed together with maybe some grass, some animals. Now look at how much lighter the soil gets down here. This is actually
all eaten up.
right. Well, there's no organic matter in there.
It's
See that? There's
eaten, right? All out.
Squeeze that between your fingers and tell me what it feels like. What does it feel like?
Clay.
Yeah, does it feel a little clay? Do you feel any sand there? Anybody else want to try a piece?
Well, it was great, and being from the city, I don't get to get out of the city very much, so it's nice to just come out here and, you know, see nature, I guess, and then it was also nice to learn something about it too, you know, not just be out here, but actually learn something about what is out here.
I really enjoy this kind of environment over here because I live in the cities, so I don't have many times spending in the countryside. So I really enjoy here.
So, you know, people want to know why we're involved. Why are we doing this? Why are we going through the trouble of getting other people involved and trying to get support to do this kind of work with young people? You know, it's really important to give young people an opportunity. I grew up in a city. I grew up in New York City. You know, I grew up around violence and alcohol, drug abuse. So I know the problems that people face in the city, you know, in the inner city. As she said, even in the suburbs, the same problems are everywhere. So what do you do about it? I mean, there are all these cutbacks with the government. Everybody's at a place, and there's a big dilemma. What should we do? How do we touch? How do we communicate with young people? That's a real issue. How do we touch them? How we've chosen to do it is bring them out into nature, giving them not only a recreational experience, but an educational one as well, teaching them something.
Eagle Eye Institute, and it's a program for people like yourselves to get you out of the city, out of that environment, and learn something about nature. So maybe if you listen today, maybe you can learn a little bit about nature.
Don't go much deeper than about a foot. And instead of going down deep, they spread out, as you can see here, because this old spruce tree tipped over. That's right, it keeps it from moving around. So trees really, the roots are very important. They keep the trees standing up.
My job, you know, working in the youth organizer, working in the city, it created some kind of a bonding. Like, it was easier for me now to talk to the kids because I'd been away with the kids, you know, someplace totally neutral. Not only that, I had, like I mentioned before, kids from different areas of the city. You know, if I wanted something, if I want to continue to organize, it was easier for me to go and talk to them too. And also, as a result of this, it was something I could relate when I'm having a discussion. I say, well, you know, I took such and such kids out to the country, to the forest. And when we were there was no discussion of black, white, or whatever. It was just people, you know, realize we're all here in one place and we're doing whatever that comes our way, you know. That for me was very important. I got a lot. I myself really got high on that.
I think outdoor education is really an important part of especially kids today growing up, because they're really going to be the future generation that hopefully will have some impact on the way the world is going. And really living in the city until they're out there seeing what's happening to things, they're really not going to be in a position to do much about it. And this is a great experience for them to really kind of broaden their horizons and see what's out there.
It's hard to define from a dollars and cents point of view, and I would encourage you not to look at it that way. I would just encourage you to look at it as a program that's a good program. You can see tangible results from the smiles on the kids when they're out there in the camps, and just as a generation of goodwill to your community. There's a lot of needs, you know, in our community, and it's very easy to get tied up in our own day-to-day affairs, but I think programs like these are very beneficial to the corporations around Cambridge and Somerville, just as a generation of goodwill to their community.
Our goals are long range, and you can see the difference that we can make. International Children's Peace Camp is our goal. We'll bring children from around the world to really feel what living in harmony in nature is like. Join our team. Be part of the solution. Thank you.
Let the children be free to be whatever they want to be. Give them the strength to try. Give them hope and love and help them to survive. 'Cause they are our future. Don't let them die. Don't abuse them. Don't make them cry. Lift up their hearts, and open up their minds. Teach them the joys of love, for all of mankind. Love all the children. Love all the children. Love all the children. Love all the children. Love all the children.